Welcome back, everybody. I can't believe it's already November. For this week's episode, I tried two new things. The first thing new I did was timing my drawings. I gave myself a whole hour to work on the actual painting, and 10 minutes at the end for any little detail touch-ups. I broke up the hour into 10-minute sections, that way I could see my progress at the end. The second thing was using heavy textured brushes to do the whole painting. This way I had to keep on moving and not get stuck on little details. It also forced me to create more organic shapes and patterns. I started by creating a general background texture to keep the overall piece consistent. Next I started to create terrain using the lasso tool, and I started filling it in with rough strokes to kind of rough out how the overall forms of the terrain would look. After that, I went in and started creating clouds to give it some more color and variety. It also helped to convey the distance in the scene. So once the 10 minutes were up, I would put everything in a new folder. This way I could come back and see how my project developed in 10-minute increments. The 10-minute timer helped me to keep moving and not focus in on too many little details. I barely even used the undo key because I didn't have time to go back and redo something over and over again. The most useful tool, I think, was having separate layers. That way, when I didn't like something, I could just turn the layer off, and I didn't have to go back and repaint something. I kept going back in to try and add some more color and different shapes. I soon realized I was getting focused in on the details and I wasn't getting as far as I needed to. So I moved back to the lasso tool, that way I could start on the big shapes once again and not get stuck on the little details. I then moved on to the shadows, where I added some cool tones as bounce light from the clouds. Once that was pretty much done, I went back to the closer cliff and started refining some of the details. I started to use some yellow highlights to give it a nice warm glow. Next, I moved on to using a brush with a more wispy texture to help give the painting a more surreal background. Although it gave me some nice color patterns in the background, something still felt off. Now by this time the 60 minutes were pretty much up, and I had about 10 minutes left to do anything else I wanted in the painting. So the first thing I did was remove the green terrain and the green wisps. They really just didn't fit the composition. Then I added a figure to give it more perspective and emotion. Once the person's basic shape was done, I added a few highlights and placed it just off center. I was running out of time, so I threw it into the camera raw filter, but something still felt out of place. So with just a few seconds on the clock, I painted in a moon. I really like how this one turned out, and it's really cool to see the progress all the way through. I would highly suggest this if you want a fresh and quicker technique. Thank you for watching Destination Unknown. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and remember I put out new types of concept art every week. And I'll see you on the next voyage.